Joshua. And the first thing we do has nothing to do with them and everything to do with us. Joshua said to the people, consecrate yourself. Get your heart ready. Get your spirit ready. Get ready, for there's a tomorrow for you. Now, that's a major understanding if we can look at that and realize that the Word is saying to us, as Joshua spoke to the people, understand Joshua's a new leader, because who just died? Moses. And God said, now Joshua, you lead the people. And so Joshua comes and he says, all right, get ready for tomorrow. The Lord will do wonders among you. How do we get ready for tomorrow? What is tomorrow in your life or in our life collectively? What is tomorrow? Where are we going? Where are we going? When will we get there? How do we answer those types of questions if we don't know where we're going or when we're going to get there? One day we're going to go to Pittsburgh. When? I don't know. But one of these days. How are you going to get there? I don't know. But I'm going to go. Anybody ever live a life that's kind of undecided like that, with no goal, no vision, no planning, and you never get to Pittsburgh or any other place? And if you do, you don't understand it's a victory because there was no substance in your getting there. I've said this before, but in the sermon it's worth repeating. Sharon and I, in all of our time of dating, and in May will be 36 years of marriage, the most predominant disagreement argument that we have is, where are we going? What are we going to eat? And what are we going to do? Well, I don't know. You decide. We were dating. Well, I don't know. You decide. Where would you like to go, honey? It doesn't matter. Just anywhere you want to go. You know where we went? Usually it was home and nowhere because we ended up in a fuss over it. So the whole evening that we could have had together was wasted because we did not know where we were going. We didn't have a vision or a goal or a plan. If we live out our lives without a vision, a goal, or a plan, and we've not consecrated ourselves to know about our tomorrow, we'll live based upon yesterday. And sadly, when we look at mainline Christianity that's in a decline, we're living about yesterday and not about tomorrow. And what tells us where we're going is we're trying to get back to yesterday. Now think about that. That means they've got to resurrect who? Who was the leader before Joshua? They got to resurrect Moses. Because that was their yesterday. And I just about guarantee you, even though it doesn't really come out in Scripture and say that there was a whole lot of Israelites saying, now, you know, Joshua, you're not time-tried and panic-tested yet. That was a slogan on the First National Bank of Keystone. You know, Joshua, you haven't proven yourself yet. So, we want Moses back. We would rather go follow a dead man than follow you into tomorrow. If we're following yesterday, that's what we're saying to the Joshuas today. Look at the transition that's happening to get to the Great Commission in Matthew. We consecrate ourselves and we become tomorrow focused about where we're going, knowing where we're going to get there and what's going to happen and what to expect, because we're looking for a place that God's going to do wonders amongst us. That God will do wonders amongst us. So let's get ready. Joshua spoke to the leaders. Take up the Ark of the Covenant, cross over ahead of the people. They took up the Ark and went ahead of the people. Now, the next day, the Lord said, Joshua, I'm going to exalt you in the sight of Israel, and they'll know I'm with you as I was with Moses. You shall, moreover, command the priest to step in to the river that verse 15 says is overflowing its banks at harvest time, which was typical and normal, and tell them to step out into the water, and all of Israel's going to follow you. Now, Lord, come on. I mean, there's got to be somewhere a little bit of doubt crossing in the mind of Joshua. I'm going to tell these leaders to go jump in the river. And you're going to do what, Lord, with that? And you want all the Israelites to follow them when they jump in the river, to jump in the river too. So come on, church, let's go jump in the river. That's how absurd it had to feel to their carnal minds. But there is a goal and a desire to get to the calling of God. The road ahead went to the river. Well, okay, Joshua, we'll do this. We know that, back in Genesis 21, when the father and son was at the place of worship, and Dad raised up the knife to slay the son, that God put a ram in the thicket and made a way, and just maybe, before we have to jump in the river and be drowned, God will make a way for us. Let's just go down to the river and see what's happening. I don't know. I can only speculate, just like you don't know, but I know that Joshua told him to get ready, and he knew where he wanted to go was in the will of God, the call of God, the commission of God. This was the road to get there. They had to cross the river, and God said, just let your leaders. Everybody still want to be a leader? People look for titles, power, importance, being a celebrity. We need leaders. We need leaders. Because our lives become so comfortable in our boxes. And I'll do anything you want me to do as long as it's inside of my comfort zone, in my box. As long as I know what to expect, when to expect it, and I can be in control, I'll do anything that's in that box for you. But don't ask me out of my box. Because I don't know what's going to happen. You see, it's not the fear of the doing, it's the fear of the unknown. What's going to happen when we step into the Jordan? I don't know. But God said it was going to be a wonder. You're going for a medical procedure. You've never had it before. Doc, what's this going to be like? Well, it's simple and blah, blah, blah. And you're not worried about what the results of the procedure. You're worried about not knowing what the procedure is. And that's what scares us. It's the unknown that we worry about. And they're going down to step in the river that's flooding and overflowing because this new leader, Joshua, said to step into the river with the ark of God. You see, who's first? The first one in the river was God. Everything else was following God to the river. They were carrying the Ark of the Covenant. What we need is some priests that's going to step up and step out and step into a river outside of our box that's going to challenge us to follow the presence of God. Not the leaders, not Joshua, but challenge you and I to follow the presence of God and the leading of God's Spirit.